fun stuff. I'm scared.
Keeping the house if I had a roommate.
What is this that Ariana is now suing you?
Oh, she's not suing me.
Working on the situation with the ownership of the house. I would love for that to be resolved quickly. So if Joe Weiner could really get back to my lawyer, that'd be great.
As season 11 of Vanderpump Rules continues to make headlines, we all know the real drama is actually happening off camera, with more information being released weekly on the living situation between exes Ariana Madix and Tom Sandoval. The latest update: not only has Ariana sued Tom over the sale of their $3.1 million Valley Village home, but Tom has now filed a countersuit against her, registering his refusal to sell the home and requesting that he receive more money than her if they do have to sell. We've managed to get our hands on both of these legal documents, so in this video we'll be diving into the details of what each of these passionate stars is claiming at court, what they're asking for, and how likely they are to get it. Whose side will the judge be on? Whose side are you on? Before we dive in, here's a little reminder to subscribe if you're new. This channel is all about diving into the most talked about Bravo news and headlines, from Vanderpump Rules to Real Housewives, Summer House, and everything in between. So if you're a Bravo addict like me, don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date with all the latest gossip, and let me know what you want to see me cover next in the comments below. Plus, in next week's video, we'll be taking a deep dive into another lawsuit, the one Rachel Leviss has filed against Tom and Ariana at the end of February for eavesdropping, revenge porn, invasion of privacy, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. So make sure you subscribe and turn on video notifications, as that's something you're not going to want to miss. Let's get into it. Before we dive into the lawsuits, let's start with a brief background on how this house came to be co-owned by the two reality stars and what happened that caused Ariana to feel that legal action was the only option. Here's a quick timeline so you're up to date. In 2019, Ariana and Tom bought a 5-bed, 5-bath, 4,450 square foot home in Valley Village for just under $2.2 million. It has since been revealed that they bought this home as joint tenants, meaning everything was split equally 50-50. In 2021, it was revealed on Vanderpump Rules that Sandoval took out a home equity loan to finance his restaurants Schwartz and Sandy's. While Lisa Vanderpump warned Ariana against this, Ariana was confident that this meant her half of the home was untouchable. The loan was only against Tom's half of the property. Then, in March 2023, Scandoval broke. It was plastered everywhere that Tom had been having a months-long affair with Rachel Leviss, and Ariana and Tom's shared home was the backdrop for this horrendous betrayal. Here's a little reminder of that sickening situation and how it all started.
We go to the front door and he's apparently locked out because he left his key in there.
And this is the house he lives with Ariana.
Yeah, where is she? Correct. She's sleeping upstairs. You know, I'm swimming around in the shallow side of the pool, and then he's swimming around in the deep end, and I have my phone is playing music over here. And he came swimming over to me and he's like, turn that down. And I was like, okay, I turned it down. And then he looked at me a certain way. And then he grabbed me, spun me and kissed me.
Do you think they ever had sex while you were upstairs?
Yes, I do. I think they had sex in my guest room while I was sleeping in my own bed, that he and I went to bed in together, and then he left the bed and went to the guest room and fucked her. Yes, I believe that.
So after the scandal broke, it became clear very quickly that Ariana was keen to sell the home, with the source telling Life and Style, Ariana hates the thought of Tom and Raquel hooking up in various rooms. The house had great memories, she loved living there, but he and Raquel ruined that for her. But it wasn't until December 2023 that we had any hint of an idea that things may be heading down a legal route. In the lead up to Christmas, Ariana appeared on an episode of Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, where she stated that she wanted to sell the home, but Tom didn't. She ended the conversation with Andy sarcastically, with a request to Tom's legal representative, saying, "If Joe Weiner could really get back to my lawyer, that'd be great." In this interview, she also revealed that during filming for Dancing with the Stars from September to December 2023, she hadn't been staying in the home, but had instead been shacked up in an Airbnb with her cat Kitty and dog Maya. And more recently, Ariana has continued to keep her distance, as she has been staying in New York while she spends time with her new boyfriend Daniel Y, and lives out her dream of playing Roxy Hart in Chicago on Broadway. If you're interested in a full rundown on Ariana and Dam's timeline, you can check out my previous video linked in the comments below. In between Dancing with the Stars and her stint on Broadway, Ariana returned to her and Tom's home for a while, where the couple lived together very uncomfortably in separate rooms, communicating only through a mediator. As we have seen play out in the first few episodes of Vanderpump Rules, Tom bought a sound machine to prevent Ariana and her friends from overhearing his conversations, while Ariana revealed that she sleeps with the door locked, and let's not forget about that tense moment with the assistant.
So Tom wants to have a birthday party here tomorrow. And he said that he could get you like a very nice hotel room.
That's not happening.
Okay.
I think that's very disrespectful and inappropriate. If he wants to have a party, he can have it somewhere else.
Got it. Yes. Okay.
If there are people here making noise, I will call the cops.
Okay.
Okay.
That brings us to the final notch on our timeline, the Billie Lee of it all. As we stepped into January 2024 and approached the launch of the new season of VPR, rumours started flying that while Ariana was out with Daniel, staying in New York or off living her life, Billie Lee had in fact moved in with Tom, bringing yet another girl into their shared home where their relationship was blown to pieces. I did a full deep dive on the home saga, Tom and Billie Lee a few weeks ago, so make sure you check that out after you've watched this for a more detailed rundown on the timeline. Anyway, as well as the rumours around Billie Lee, January was also the month where we saw Tom feature on The Vile Files, where host Nick Vile followed up on Ariana's request for Tom to get in touch with her lawyer on Watch What Happens Live and asked Tom if it was true Ariana was suing him over the house, which he adamantly denied. Check this out.
What is this that Ariana is now suing you?
Oh, she's not suing me.
Oh, clear it up, because that's what every headline that I read the other day said.
I think that's a little clickbaity. I think it's just a motion to expedite the sale of the house.
But Ariana is making it out to be that me wanting to keep the house is a psychopath move, but it's not. She's like, he gave me a shit offer. I gave her an offer of $3.1 million.
But unfortunately for Tom, we've got the paperwork to prove that Ariana did in fact sue him. And to complicate things further, a few months down the line, Tom has also countersued, filing a claim in response to Ariana's original lawsuit. We'll dive into Tom's countersuit in a minute, but first, let's take a look at Ariana's. So on January 5th, 2024, Ariana filed a lawsuit in Los Angeles County Court at the North Central Burbank Courthouse, requesting that a judge intervene and order the sale of the home the pair bought together 5 years ago for $2.2 million, now worth $3.1 million. Ariana requested that the court order a partition by sale, which basically means that the house will get sold and the money they receive will be equally divided between the two of them. Typically, a partition by sale occurs when the co-owners of a home can't agree on what to do regarding the sale of the house and one won't buy the other one out. Now, as we know, Tom did in fact put forward a proposal to Ariana to buy her out of the house for $3.1 million, but she refused, stating, "I'm not going to pack up my clothes and hitchhike down the road because Tom offered me a measly sum of money. The fact of the matter is he broke the home. He doesn't get to do that, and I don't know, keep it." She also backed this up in the Insta comments where she defended herself, saying, "We countered because his offer was trash and got nothing back. Jesus, y'all, it's gonna be a long season." So obviously there's no way Ariana is going to let Tom buy her out. What's important about Ariana's lawsuit is that Ariana has asked specifically for a partition by sale and not a division in kind. A division in kind would involve dividing the house in half, meaning they would own half each, so Tom could keep his half and stay there if he wanted, and Ariana could sell her half. The only problem with this is she'd have to find someone who would want to live with Scandoval. Maybe Billie Lee or Tom Schwartz would be up for it.
Consider keeping the house if I had a roommate.
But clearly, Ariana is not going to back down and let Tom stay in the home. If she has to move, so does he. In her legal filings, Ariana also states that a division in kind would be impracticable and would diminish the value of each owner's interest in the property, meaning both of them would make less money from selling it in this way. So partition by sale it is. A couple of other interesting points to pull out from Ariana's filing before we jump into Tom's are that Ariana claims that the discord between her and Sandoval is continuing to have a negative effect on the ownership of the property and on Ariana's enjoyment of her interest in the home. Basically meaning that neither her nor Tom can properly relax and enjoy the home while they're forced under one roof together. So she has asked the judge to rule for a sale as quickly as possible so they can both get out of there and move on. The final point that Ariana made in her filing against Tom is that she is looking for an equitable allocation of the proceeds of sale of the property, including the payment of debt secured by same and the costs of partition, including but not limited to reasonable attorney's fees, title expenses, and that the cost be secured by a lien against the proceeds of the sale of the property. What does this mean? Essentially, Ariana wants the money they receive from selling the home to be split fairly between her and Tom, after taking away any lawyer's bills and costs that will build up with the sale of the home. So in summary, Ariana wants to sell the home as quickly as possible and split the money between her and Tom. While we know that in the state of California, the cheating and scandal won't be taken into account when the judge rules, what is interesting is that Ariana is adamant about maintaining ownership of her pitbull mix Maya and their cat Kitty. Although it's not clear from the lawsuit whether this will be up for debate in court, if it is, the judge is likely to consider things like who spends more time with the pets now and is more involved in their lives. So it will be interesting to watch that play out too, especially as we know Ariana, like every great dog mum, thinks of her pets as her children, so she definitely won't be giving them up without a fight. So, after Ariana filed her suit for the sale of their home, according to California state laws, Tom then had 30 days to respond. and boy did he respond. On the 23rd of February, Tom filed his own counter documents in response to Ariana's suit, where he refused the partition by sale. As well as refusing her request, the filing stated that if they are forced to sell, he is entitled to an accounting and compensatory adjustments for expenditures in excess of defendant's fractional share for necessary repairs, improvements that enhance the value of the subject real property, taxes, payments of principal, and interest on mortgages and other liens, insurance for the common benefit, and protection and preservation of title. This basically means that if it is ruled that they have to sell the house and split the money, Tom wants a full review of their finances to be done, as he believes that he has put more money into the house, done more repairs, and more home improvements. We've seen him allege this before on the Vile Files, where he stated that he built the gym and spent a lot of time putting money into the home, so he argues that it wouldn't be fair for profits to be split equally. What's more, Tom has also made multiple claims that after the scandal broke, Ariana stopped paying bills, the mortgage, property taxes, and other household expenses that they would typically split. So if this is in fact true, Tom requests that the extra money he's put in during this time should be taken into account, meaning she could receive less from the sale than he does.
Had to tour and stuff, like my bank account was literally overdrawn. Dude, Ariana like hadn't paid any of the bills for like 8 months, man. I'm literally like moving $1,000 around into this account. I'm moving $500 from this account to cover our mortgage. I've been pretty much paying for everything out of all my accounts. Mortgage, gardener, cleaning, utilities, everything. And it's kind of like pulling teeth to get Ariana to pay me back.
Tom's countersuit also states that he owns a lien on the subject real property of an outstanding loan of $90,000. It's widely believed that this is referring to the loan he took out against the home back in 2021 to finance Schwartz and Sandy's. Tom also has the absolute audacity in his lawsuit to request that the lien be paid before any partition of the subject real property be made, meaning that if they do sell the home, he would want that $90,000 to be deducted from the profits before they split the estimated $3.1 million between them. So he and Ariana would be splitting the repayment of the $90,000 loan. Now, I know that Ariana is never going to go for this, and it's unlikely a court would either. What's much more likely is that the house is sold, that accounting is reviewed and settled, and then the $90,000 that Tom owes is deducted from his share of the profits. There's no way that Ariana should have to put a penny towards repaying his loan. Hopefully she's as protected as she thought she was when he took out that loan back in 2021. Personally, I don't think the court is going to rule in Tom's favour. To me, the most likely outcome is that the judge forces the speedy sale of the home, their accounts and payments are reviewed, and then the profits are split and Tom's loan is paid off from his part of the profits. But we'll have to wait and see, as the court date for the pair to battle this out has been set for June 3rd, 2024. Until then, the couple continue to live in the property together, in separate rooms with the white noise machine and assistants running in between while this all gets worked out. What are your thoughts on this, guys? Do you think Ariana is right in forcing the sale of the home? Do you think Tom really put more money into home improvements and is entitled to more profits? How do you think a judge will rule? Let me know in the comments below. That's all for this rundown, but don't forget to subscribe to stay tuned for more updates as they happen. I'll be back in June to give you an update on the court's rulings, plus I'll catch you next week to run through Rachel's lawsuit filed against Ariana and Tom. As a side note, I personally am so intrigued by what's happening in the reality TV world recently. Everything is becoming a lot more legal and regimented, so it'll be interesting to see how this impacts the future of production of these kinds of shows. Whatever happens, I'll be here bringing you the updates. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and check out our Vanderpump Rules playlists for more deep dives into Tom, Ariana, and this season's drama.